Very good evening to all of you. Before start today's Dhamma sermon, I would like to thank for the Sasanavi Vurdivardhana Society. They are the people who took us here from Sri Lanka. And they are the people who take care us very well, and they treat us very well. And especially Secretary Mr. Lisi Jayawardena sir, thank you very much for everything. And also, we must respect our late Chief Kirinde Dhammananda Mahanayaka Thero, most venerable. And because of him, he's the monk who introduced the Theravadic Buddhism to the Malaysia. And especially because of him, we are gathered here, and you are ready to listen to Dhamma, actually because of him. So we need to share the merits to him also, as well as most venerable Punaji Nayaka Thero. And then this Dhamma talk today, something radical. So the Buddha, a radical teacher. So before I start this Dhamma session, I want to give advice to you. Once the Buddha mentioned, if actually the advice for the monk, the Buddha advice for the monk, before the Buddha start the Dhamma sermon, and normally, as usual, the Buddha give a Dhamma advice, how to listen to Dhamma. So here, there is an empty cup. You can see this is empty, no water. And also here you can see one water bottle. So if I take out this lid, then if you pour the water for this one, what will happen? It start to overflow. But you can pour the water to this one, and it can absorb the water. As well as in our mind, in this time, should be empty, right? Normally in our mind, durangamang ekacharang, it's going so far, ekacharang, and it behave alone, asarirang, and it doesn't have anybody, right? So the listener, the Dhamma listener, should control that mind and keep your mind calm and empty your mind with another thoughts. It is more important, right? So then now we can start our Dhamma session, Dhamma lesson. So the Buddha wants, actually what the means of radical, right? So let me explain something like a person who advocates fundamental political, economic, and social reforms by direct and often uncompromising, right, method. So let me explain. Buddha Charita Bhikkhave Charikam Bahujana Hitaya Bahujana Sukhaya. So once Buddha addressed 60 followers, the first 60 followers. So then the Buddha addressed all the 60 followers and gave advice. What it was? Charata bhikkave charikang bahujana hitaya bahujana sukhaya. Monk, do not eat and sleep. So that is how the Buddha started. Right? Do not eat and sleep. Charata bhikkave, go out. For what? Charikang bahujana hitaya. Bahujana means more people. Hitaya means for their happiness. Right? And teach what you have learned from me. You have learned something from me, because all the that monks are arahant, right? And then you have realized the Dhamma, and you have a duty, right? Spread this Dhamma, give this Dhamma to the people, and behave yourself. Ma ekena dve agamitta. Do not go two monks in one path. Individually, it's better to go individually, because so then 60 monks there, so 60 roads they can go. Do not stay in the temple. Go. And then after that advice, what happened? The Buddha also went another place to spread the Dhamma, share the Dhamma. Right? And also, one day the Chulla monk, Bhante, his name Chulla, he is something fat, something big. So, actually he is, that monk normally lay down on the seat, and he used to order to the another junior monks, do this, but he is lay down on the chair, on the seat. So something is very big, and he do not like to preach the Dhamma, do not like to practice the Dhamma even, right? So once the Buddha advised him, mansani tassa vaddanti panya tassa na vaddati. So he said to all the monks, at that moment get together, so many monks together, and the Buddha said him, see, mansani tassa vaddanti, his muscles and his body is so big. It is developing automatically, but he is not trying to build the mind. Panya tassa navadati, he has no wisdom. He is not trying to develop the mind and develop the wisdom. Do not build the muscles. So the Buddha advised something radical, right? And then once I remember, do you know what we call his name? Chulla Pantaka. There were one younger brother and one elder brother. Chulla Pantaka and Mahapantaka. Mahapantaka is the younger brother, and Chulla Pantaka is the younger brother. So they became a monk. And then the Chulla Pantaka, which means younger brother. So younger brother, he cannot remember the stanza or gatha, and he cannot remember those things. So the Mahapantaka, his elder brother, and he told, you cannot be a monk even more. It is better to disrobe and go home. So, but younger brother, the Chulla Pantaka Thero, he is very innocent and he is very interesting for the monkhood actually. So, but what to do? And his elder brother informed to go and disrobe, and he went to the home. While he is going home, the Buddha met him. So the Buddha asked, Chulla Pantaka, where are you going? I am going to disrobe. Who said you? Said my master, my elder brother. So the Buddha took him and went to the temple. And after that, Buddha advised, Yohave Daharo Bhikkhu Yunyata Buddha Sasane. That is how the Pali stanza. Soimang Lokam Pabhaseti Abba Mutto Chandima. Especially in the little monk, they are just like a moon. Normally at night, the moon is so cool. Is that right? And delighted in the whole world. So beautiful. As well as small monk, young monk, then the elder, they bride this sasana. How do you take this decision? So the Buddha said that, advised that, right? And then also, the Alavaka, in the Alavaka Sutta, right? It's quite interesting. So then Alavaka Sutta, one day, the Buddha, he wanted to go to the Alavaka Bhavana. Alavaka Bhavana means the place Alavaka living, which is Alavaka living. So then Buddha went there, and the Buddha sat on Alavaka Yakha's seat. So then he came to see in this picture, I will show you. See the first picture, you can see in Alavaka, and second also. So then the Alavaka, so he told to the Buddha, Nikkama Samana, Sada Osodi Bhagava Nikkama, get out from my place. So the Buddha went out. Okay. And then again the Alavaka Yakka, Pavisa Samana, Sada Osodi Bhagava Pavisi, come and have a seat. So again the Buddha came and sat. And again he, Nikkama Samana Sada Osodi Bhagava Nikkama, go. So then again Buddha went actually. Second time also, then again he just like he wanted to play with the Buddha. Pavisa Sada Usada Bhagava Pavisi, come and sit. That is how the in Alavaka Sutta mentioned. Third time, then the Alavaka Yak said, Nikkam, so Buddha said, Nakwa Hantang also, Nikkam is, I am not going anywhere. If you can do something for me, just do it. I am not going to anywhere. Right? So in this Dhamma sermon, so my aim is, I want to increase your faith to the Buddha. So just think here, in a brief account of the Buddha, right? So then actually all of you know those things, but I mentioned here in brief account of the Buddha. So the Buddha was born in 2646 years ago from King Suddhodana and plus Queen Mahamaya of Kapilavatthu in India. And he led a luxurious life as a prince for 28 years and married to Princess Yashodhara and had a son Rahula. It's very brief. So at the age of 29, so you can see, the age of 29, he renounced the world and searched for the liberation from suffering, from the vicious cycle of suffering. At the age of 35, after 6 years alone attempt to find the liberation from suffering, he became the enlightened one, Buddha. For 25 years as the Buddha, he tirelessly worked for the well-being and happiness for all sentient beings. So at the age of 80, the Buddha passed into the complete cessation. So this is a very, very brief account for the Buddha for renew your memory, right? So, and then we in this this topic, something radical and something non-conformist, right? So then when we talk about this topic, we have to go during the Buddhist society, which means the pre-Buddhist society. So before he became a Buddha, we have to go that society. In pre-Buddhist society, that society divided into 4 parts in India, right? So it's called Brahmanosya Mukamasit Bahurajanya Kruta Uru Tadadyat Vaishyam Padbyam Sudro Ajayata. That is how they divided that society into 4 parts. So the first one is Brahmana, and second one Shastriya, and the fourth one Vaishya, and third one Vaishya, and the fourth one Sudra. So then, so here you can see the Brahmana. Brahmana means something like priest, and they teaching, right, and they doing some offering, those things. And also Shastriya, so they are the people who rules the country, and landowners, they have some properties, right, and warriors. And Vaishya, so they are the people who merchants, traders, and they do businesses things. And the Shudra, they are everyday workers, right? So they believe that you can see here one mouth, right, and you can see some hand, and you can see some leg and feet. So they believe the Mahabrahma, one person, they call to him Mahabrahma, something like very big person. So he created these, all the people and natural, everything he created. That is how pre-Buddhist society mentioned. So Mahabrahma created Brahmana, the first part, from his mouth. And the Shastriya, and they created, the Mahabrahma created the Shastriya from their shoulders. And Vaishya, the Mahabrahma created, they are from leg. And Shudra, Mahabrahma created in feet. So this is the free Buddhist, we call actually caste system in the pre-Buddhist. So what happened? After getting Buddha, so after getting enlightenment, so it was so difficult to spread the Dhamma. So difficult. So then actually one day, so Buddha asked from all the people, can't you see mothers feeding children? Can't you see? You can see. So how do you believe it is a creation? This is not a creation, this is not magic, right? So Buddha asked, your Mahabrahma mouth, is it a womb? Is it a womb? So Buddha asked. So they got very angry with the Buddha. Very angry. And then the Buddha introduced this stanza. Right? So for example, in Shudra, they call the Vasala, it outcast. They are every day, their duty is something, they work for the everyone. Like laborers, they don't have any chance. They don't have any chance to live like a human, like a normal human. They cannot wear the robe. They cannot wear the dresses, and they cannot taste the foods, right? So then Buddha introduced this stanza: Najacca vasalo hoti, najacca hoti brahmana, kammana vasalo hoti, kammana hoti brahmanu. Right? So Buddha mentioned that how we can see the person not by birth is one an outcast, not by birth is one of Brahman. By deed one becomes an outcast. By deed one becomes an Brahmana. The Brahmana, they said they are the higher level. The Brahmana means they are the person who in high, right? So the Buddha said, if we cannot go high by birth, what we are practicing in good things, okay, we are in high level. But if someone practice in the bad things, automatically we are going back. This is how the Buddha introduced in the Vatala Sutta, right? So then they argue with the Buddha, right? Once they wanted to, they planned to kill the Buddha, right? And also they planned to kill the followers, right? So actually he faced so many problems in that society. So this is the Buddha's views on the caste system, right? And he challenged to the Brahmana, he challenged that society. Even his father, one day the Buddha, normally, in the monks, they are going arms round, right, with the ball, home to home, house to house, the Buddha going. So the Buddha was King Suddhodana's son. So the King Suddhodana got shocked. My son? No, he is not a beggar. He is my son. So then while the Buddha going to arms round, and then what happened? So King Suddhodana came to see the Buddha. My son, my lovely son, do not go like this. I will offer everything what you need. Please stay at the temple. Do not behave like a beggar. You do not go to anywhere with asking food. Don't go. I will give you. So Buddha said, okay. That is the way that you thinking. You are the king. This is your way. But this is my way. I am the Buddha. Previous Buddhas, the previous Buddhas also went arms round. I am also following the previous Buddhas, what they have done. So this is your way and this is my way. So that is how the Buddha react that time, right? And also we must consider the women in the pre-Buddhist society. So before I come to this topic, I want to tell you, normally in Sri Lanka also same, in here also same. Normally when we give the dana, when we doing some meritorial deeds, always 80%, 85% women. We can see the women. Last day in the 8 precept program also, 95% women they participated. In Sri Lanka also same, sometimes 100% women, right? So I believe, so in this Buddhism actually, so Buddha gave the freedom from them. Before Buddha start to preach in pre-Buddhist society, so terrible. So first stanza, Mukapatma Dalakarang, Vacha Chandana Sitalang, Madhutistati Divhagre, Hadesu Halahalan. That is how they introduce women to the society. So this is the Sanskrit actually, their language, not Pali. So what this meaning actually, Mukha Padma Dalakaram, the face, the women face so nice, so beautiful. Vacha Chandana Sitalang, the words women talk words, so nice. Madhu Tristati Divhagre, just like honey in the mouth, very sweet. But Hadesu Halahalang, in the heart is poison. That is how they think about the women before the Buddha. Right? And then again the lower one, Darasanam Chitta Vaikalyang, Sparashanam Dhana Nashanang, Sayanam Maranyang Kuryat, Stri Pratyaksa Raksasi. Darasanam chitta vaikalyam. If someone see women, that person got confused. Chitta vaikalyam, confused. Sparshanam dhananasanam, if someone touch a woman, dhananasanam, his wealth going to destroy. Right? Which it means that that lady is taking money from the women, from the men. Saina marnyan kuryat. If someone sleep with the woman, it's just like a death. Sri pratyaksha rakshasi. The women just like yakha. Right? Devil. So that is how they think about the women. And also, Audumbara bhavam pushpang svetavarnancha kakayo. This third one. Svetavarnancha kakayo. Matsyapadan jale paschat narachittan visaset. Audumbara bhavam pushpang, there is a tree we call Audumbara. It is in India, Himalaya. That tree cannot create flowers. If someone say, oh, today, this morning, I saw a flower, that tree. Okay, just believe it. Doesn't matter, just believe it. Sveta varnancha kakyo, have you ever seen white crow? Normally we cannot see white crow, only black crow. If someone say you, this morning I saw a white crow. Okay, just believe it. Okay, just believe it. Matsyapadan jale parsat. Do you know there are fish? Can you see their footprints? Do they have fruit? Do they have foot? No, cannot. If someone say you, today morning I saw some footprints, fish footprints. Just believe it. Okay, doesn't matter, just believe it. But Narachitta Navisvaset. Women's words and women's heart do not trust. That is how that society say about the women. Right? So can you imagine how cruel that society, no? And then sabbe nadi vanka gata, sabbe katti mayavana. Sabbe nadi vanka gata, every rivers, it is going just like, not straightly go, just like something winding. It is true. Correct or no? It is correct. Normally, we can Nile Nadi and Nile River and like bending. Sabbe Kattiya Mayavana, every forest made by wood and trees. It is true. As well as every women, if they get a chance, definitely they misbehave. So that is how that society introduce women to the people. There are two things they have to do. Women have to do. The first thing is cooking, right? In the kitchen. And the other things is having children. That is it. That is it. So then Buddha, so just can you imagine that in that kind of society, how the Buddha survived, how he spread the Dhamma, how he in the women in the Buddhist society. So what happened after enlightenment? Then Buddha mentioned and Buddha tell to everyone, Naso sabbesu tanesu puriso hoti pandito. Ittipi pandita hoti tatta vichakkana. And then Buddha said that Naso sabbesu, not everywhere people. Normally in the society we gave a majority for the male, for the but the Buddha said Puriso hoti pandito naso sabbesana, not everywhere in be wise. Let me explain. Ittipi pandita hoti, the women also wise, tatta tacha vichakkana, according to the situation. She also can be a wise. Right? So the Buddha mentioned. And also, Buddha introduced to women in sasana. Right? So, Patachara. Right? And then, Brahmati Mata Pitaro. So, at that moment, even children, so, Bale Pituru Vashe Tistet. Every woman in their childhood, they have to live under the father. And Panigrahasya Yauvane, and then they became something else, get married, and then they have to live under the husband. And Putranang Bharte Petre, and then after death of her husband, she have to live under the great children, great child, male son. And then this is how that society it's going on that time. So Buddha mentioned, no, your mother, she is just like, she is practicing the 4 Brahma Viharas, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upeka. So the Buddha showed them by himself, he preached the Dhamma in 3 months to his mother in the heaven. So he showed the practical way. This is how we respect to our mother. And then the Buddha said that Brahmati Mata Pitaro, your father and your mother, they both are same. Just like milk and water. Milk and water. So once we mix milk and water, we cannot separate. As well as father and mother both are same. Just respect them. This is how the Buddha, just like revolution, the society, right? And then actually, at that time there was something. They sacrificing some animals and nature and so Agni Puja. At that time there was a puja which means Agni means something burn, fire. So they have Shad Agni Puja. Shad means 6. So what happened was, what's the funny thing? They think they burn 4 fireplace, right? For example, I am here and I burn 4 fireplace. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And it's doing actually under a very hot season on the rock. The rock means a rock also hot once in the sunlight. So then 4 fireplaces and sun, right? And also under rock. So Shad Puja. So and then once he doing something wrong and bad karma, and he think these fireplaces and the sun and the other hot plate, they burn my bad karma. Do you understand what I mean? Right? They think like that. And also Bali Puja. So Bali Puja means, you can see in this picture, the cart, goat and some cows and buffaloes neck, and then they sacrifice his blood for their believers, devas or something like that. And Rukha Vandana means they used to worship big trees. And Pabbata Vandana, they used to worship to some big stone and some caves like that. So Buddha introduced, if you ekajangva dijangva pi yodapanam hinsati yassapane dayanatti tanjanya vasaloviti. So the Buddha mentioned, this is the outcast. What? Ekajangva dijangva pi. If you kill anyone, if you kill any animal, yassa pane dayanatti, if you don't have any sympathy for the animals, he is the person who outcast. Right? He is the person who shuddha. Right? So that is how the Buddha mentioned that time. And also at that time the Buddha introduced to worship to the bo tree rather than worship the another place. Right? And the Buddha introduced fearless dana, which means abhedana, rather than doing Bali Puja. They are trying to Bali Puja, kill the animals. So Buddha introduced, save the animals. This is the dana, puja, offering. Right? So then save the animals. Give them to chance to live. Right? And also Ajavruta, they actually at that moment, Ajavruta means actually they behave like a goat. Aja means goat. They behave like a goat. And Govruta, they behave like buffaloes. Right? They behave like buffaloes. So in the Buddha introduced eightfold path and 5 precepts. Rather than behave like animals, it is better to behave like a human with the good deeds. Right? So this is how actually it's a Buddha trying to make that society and create that society like a good way. All right? And then once the most interesting thing is, while the Buddha doing these things, he got so many challenges. One day, one woman, we known as Chinchimanavika, right? Chinchimanavika. See how the Buddha practice his own Dhamma, and how to Buddha show if some friction, then this is how you face. So there, what happened was that Chinchimanavika, while, for example, here is a Buddha and so many devotees, then Buddha preaching the Dhamma. Once one lady suddenly came to the Buddha, right, with fake stomach, right, just like a pregnant woman. It's a fake, something pillows and like that. So then she behaved. Buddha, you are preaching Dhamma. Here you are preaching Dhamma, and do you know who is father in this baby? I am pregnant from you. You are preaching here. Who is going to be responsible for my baby? So the devotees got shocked. Right? If same thing happen here, what will happen? Definitely you got shocked. It's the nature of the human. So then the Buddha, he doesn't confused. And he doesn't go to tell anything. Right? But that women actually, that place, there were so many people. She also got some excited. Right? And suddenly what happened, that what we call that, she used some sticks to tight at some levels tight, and suddenly it actually broken. Then it fell down. Maybe whether it's just think maybe a pillow or something like that, fell down. So Buddha mentioned to monk, see, the truth, whenever we cannot beat the truth, right? So truth is always in the truth. So do not going to argue or do not going to against something. And also one day that things, or one day one girl, every day she is used to come to temple every day in the morning. Early in the morning she comes to the temple, and then after normally the people come to temple to worship and do some things in the temple. So when the people are coming to temple, she is going back to her house. So then she make some image to devotee's mind. Last night I slept in the temple, right? So this is a plan of that Brahmin, that society. So then what happened? After few days, that lady disappeared, vanished. So everyone search where she is. So the devotee said, oh, that lady I saw few days in the temple in the morning, right? She came with night dress. In the morning, few people, they said, okay, then we search in the temple. So that people come to temple and search. What happened was, they killed that lady and hide under the flowers. In that temple, so many flowers, right? So, in Malaysia, also so many flowers, but we keep that into dustbin, and then that lorry is coming at night and they took somewhere. But that time, all the flowers in one place, right? So then they hide her body under the flowers. So what happened? They found that dead body, right? And then they took that dead body and showed everyone, see your Buddha and his followers, what they are doing at night in the temple. This is the result. So the people, they didn't give dana to the Buddha and the followers. Once the Bhante Anand went to alms round, what happened? Sands, more people, they gave the sands to the Bhante Anand, right? Instant dana. They didn't give food, give dana and mud and some stone. So the Bhante Anand request from the Buddha, my Buddha, let's go somewhere. We should leave from here. No. Just keep quiet and observe what's going on, what will happen. Truth is truth. We cannot beat that. After 7 days, people realized what happened. At that moment, that king he appointed few people to find the truth. So then, as a result of that, then they found that this one done by the Brahmins and some people. So because they got very so angry about the Buddha, right? So then actually that is how he behaved as a non-conformist, right? So it was so difficult. So but however, so Buddha, 45 years, right? He started from the 5 monks, and then after he passed away, thousands of devotees and disciples. All right. So I think so. Yeah, that's it. So then I wanted to increase your Shraddha, and I wanted to tell you something about the Buddha. So I believe that you have more faith about the Buddha. Is it? Okay, so any question that you have?
I was just mentioning that I don't think it's just the Brahmins or the caste that was against the Buddha, but I think also the Jain community who actually in competition with the Buddha, who were also causing a lot of difficulty, and because it was also going against the grain of Indian society then, right? I think that's why the Buddha...
Jaina, no?
Jains, yeah. So I think they were also like in competition, right? Very close.
They are the persons actually who belong to that higher caste level, Jainis. So they always try to catch this type of caste system, because without that they cannot survive. So that is why actually they try to do the whole things. And I'm going to end this Dhamma sermon. So I'm very happy to even few people, it doesn't matter, because the Buddha also started the Dhamma from the 5 people. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Even one here, just I ready to give the Dhamma, because the Dhamma sharing is the merit. Right? And sharing Dhamma is a merit. All the merits is going to Sasana Abhivardhana society. Without the Sasana Abhivardhana society, you cannot listen to the Dhamma. Right? Because they spend a lot of money and a lot of sacrificing for bring the monk here, and so many scholarly monks and educated monks. So time to time, they took from so many places, especially for the devotees. Right? So some devotees, they cannot actually come to Dhamma sermon because there are some traffic problems. But once we put the YouTube and they see those things, and once we deliver Dhamma through the Zoom, so many people can join. But physically it is difficult. But I really appreciate that you have came here. So very happy. And now we are going to transfer this merit for the specially late chief, most venerable Kirinde Dhammanandanayaka Hamdru, and also most venerable Madhavala Punnaji Mahanayaka Hamdru. They may attain the Nibbana, sadhu, 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 as well as your parents, whoever departed one, maybe your parents, your grandparents, or whoever. If someone departed from you, if they want merits, so please give these merits. We share with these merits with you and transfer these merits with you. So you also may be attain the Nibbana soon. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And also the people who are sponsoring the Dhamma sermon and the people who are participant here. and all the all the people together, especially for us, no any harm come to us by the power of the Buddha, by the power of the Dhamma, by the power of Sangha, by the power of this Dhamma sermon. You may be well, happy and peaceful. May the Triple Gem bless you. May you have long healthy life. And finally, all of you may attain the Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So we share the merits with Devas. ආකාසට්ඨා චුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරන් රක්ඛන්තු ලෝක සාසනං ආකාසට්ඨා චුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරන් රක්ඛන්තු ලෝක සාසනං ආකාසට්ඨා ච බුම්මට්ඨා දේවා නාග මහිද්దికා පුඤ්ඤන්තං අනුමෝදිත්වා චිරන් රක්ඛන්තු ලෝක සාසනං. සාදු සාදු. සුඛී හෝතු. සබ්බීතියෝ විවජ්ජන්තු සබ්බ රෝගෝ විනස්සතු මාතේ භවත්වන්තරායෝ සුඛී දීඝායුකෝ භව භවතු සබ්බ මංගලං රක්ඛන්තු සබ්බ දේවතා සබ්බ බුද්ධානුභාවේන සබ්බ ධම්මානුභාවේන සබ්බ සංඝානුභාවේන සදා සොත්ති භවන්තු තේ. සාදු සාදු සාදු.